Hello and welcome to my first Homebrew Wednesday. I was determined to get one recorded this evening, even though I spent the whole evening digging up a concrete floor, hence I'm covered in dust and I'm absolutely filthy. But first of all, I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. Since the shout out I received from Grant, Belover 1983 Brew on YouTube, my subscriber count has gone up, well, it's doubled. So thank you very much, Grant, and thank you very much to all my new subscribers. Now, as this is a Homebrew Wednesday, appropriately, I've got a homebrew. This is the Dennis's Galaxy Delight, all grain, which I bought the kit from the malt miller, and it has come out absolutely spot on. I did miss my numbers regarding volume, so the ABV's gone up a little bit on this one, which has caught out a couple of my guests who have visited my house. But it's absolutely smashing beer. Cheers. Speaking of smashing beers, one of the reasons I've kicked off the Homebrew Wednesdays is I've decided to enter this year's Smash competition, run by the Welsh brewer Dave. Obviously, the Dennis's Galaxy Delight doesn't qualify because it's got more than one grain, but I've decided on what hop and what grain I'm going to be using. So hopefully in the next few weeks, you'll see me brew my competition entry. Now, before I get around to brewing my competition entry, I've got a few upgrades which I'm making to my brewery at the moment. Obviously, nobody's seen my brewery as of yet, and it's dark out in the shed and it's cold, so I'm not taking the camera out there tonight. But I'll talk you through what I've got at the moment. Basically, at the moment, I've got a keg as a hot liquor tank, and a keg as a boiler, and a cool box as the mash tun. This week I've received a couple of deliveries of parts for upgrades to my brewery. I've wanting to integrate a Herms coil into my HLT and be able to recirculate my mash, as I seem to be struggling on maintaining mash temperature, or at least achieving correct mash temperature during doughing in. So, as I say, I want to introduce a Herms coil. And first thing I need is a pump, and I've had my delivery from China of an eBay solar pump. This one's rated to 100 degrees C. It's meant to be food safe, but obviously I'm going to go running it at mash temperatures. I've also decided to integrate a Herms bypass into my system. So even though this will be continuously running, the wort won't be continuously going through the coil in the HLT. I'm also going to have a bypass that can come out the pump back into the mash tun. To do that, also on eBay, I purchased some of these. These are a solenoid valve, 12 volts. These cost 70p, so if it doesn't work, I'm not too fussed. I can always replace these with 12 volt ball valves. But for 70p, I'm up for giving it a whirl, so I can continuously be recirculating my mash. The next thing I've been looking at is how to obviously connect hoses onto these. Looking in the Toolstation catalogue, I came across these nice brass fitting hose connectors. They're 3/4 inch BSP. The the tap output on these is a 1/2 inch BSP. So, pardon me, that is quite gas, that bit. I've got a reducing bush, which I'll put a link to everything I'm showing you tonight down below. So a reducing bush on there like so, and a one on the output as well. Then these hose connectors can go straight on like so. I've cross-threaded that one, but there we are. Now they're all brass, apart from obviously the O-ring, but I can always look at replacing that with a food safe O-ring, but I think that's going to have minimal contact with the wort. And Toolstation also sell these. They're a brass hose fitting, which connects on there like so. And luckily, these also fit 1/2 inch silicone hosing, which I use on the brewery. So as simple as that. I've basically got a method So a method of quick connecting onto the hose or onto other disconnects. Now they sell this as a kit with a disconnect, a second disconnect, a hose connector, and a spray nozzle. So that, and finally that as a kit for £6.64, which in my books is pretty reasonable, because I've been looking at stainless steel hose fittings and stuff, and you're talking £15–20 per piece. So for £6.64 I can effectively have a connector at both ends of my hose, one of these, and with that little brass bush I can fit them straight onto the pump. So I'm very, very pleased with that. As I say, I'll put a link to all of this below. The next part of the upgrade, which I've been working on, is the control box. All I've done so far is cut a couple of holes in the box for a couple of PIDs. I'm also going to have a timer, and this little thing here, if I open up you can just see the back of there, which is a USB connection on it. This is a oven controller, which was part of a Kickstarter project. So it's not on general sale yet, but it's a little touchscreen controller. I'll do some video in a second of that. Which basically will allow me to create a mash profile. I'm going to control the hot liquor tank with this PID, the boiler with this PID, and if the mash is insufficient temperature-wise based on my profile, using the solenoid, a couple of solenoid valves, I'm going to divert the recirculating mash through the Herms coil, through the hot liquor tank, in the hot liquor tank, sorry, controlled by this one here, and around back into the mash tun. Now this will take a profile, so I can do stepped mashes. I was going to put this down. Protein rests. It's a bit of trial and error because I've not connected this to anything yet. I'm not even sure if it's going to work properly, but it runs the normal solid state relays the same as the PIDs. So I was saying, in the next couple of weeks, hopefully I'll fire that up, and I will obviously record the first connection, and hopefully it doesn't. Right, I've just put some power onto the controller so I can explain a little bit better how it works and what it is. Basically, it's originally designed as an oven controller for soldering surface-mounted components, but you can plug in a Windows computer into it and create profiles. So if I click here, this is a profile that's already in it. Basically temperature at one side, time along the other, and you can start or stop. At the moment it won't let me do anything because I've not connected a thermocouple. But my intention is I can basically put a start temperature for when I go in, hold it for an hour, and then ramp it up for my mash out. And obviously then I can sparge. Should be an interesting little project, should it work. But obviously, at the moment, I'm not 100% sure if it will. Right, just want to finish up. Just want to say thank you all for watching. Please like, please put a comment below, please subscribe, all the usuals. Hopefully I can put a video up every week if I get a chance. It might not be filmed in the house, it might be filmed in my car, it might be just me at lunch break at work, but I'm going to try and get Homebrew Wednesday up every week. Also, you saw at the beginning, I've now named the brewery, just add water. Hopefully you like the little intro sequence as well, but thank you very much.